Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi, and I want to welcome you to my psychic hour this evening. This is the last psychic hour of December, or in 2021. It's the December psychic hour, and I'm really revved for this evening. This has been one heck of a year, folks, and most of you that I see here who are online with me this evening have been with me every month since the beginning of the year. So apparently everybody's come back this evening just to cap it all off and say, wow, this has been a great run. And I'm really excited to see you all back again. We've also got a whole bunch of new faces here. So apparently word's getting out. You're spreading the word, folks. Thank you very much. And I want to welcome everyone who's new to my psychic hour this evening. We do this monthly. I've been doing it for quite a few years now. It's always free. It's my gift back to you folks because you are just very great, very wonderful. And it's my pleasure to be here with you this evening and every month to be able to offer the help that my guides can give, regardless of what's going on in your life, regardless of what's going on in the world. It's just a special time for me and for you to share together each month. So welcome. I have some announcements I want to make, and I also have, of course, my instructions for how to get the most out of the psychic hour this evening. I'm going to start with something that's a little unusual. You are all aware that I do a radio show or a podcast show with my good friend, Sharon Lynn Wyeth, odd months of each year. And I will be on with her again. You can see right here on the screen. It's right down here. Follow my cursor, if you will. I'll be on her show again on January 13th at 3 p.m. And, of course, if you've missed her show at any point, you can always find them archived on her website, on Om Times Radio website, and also on my website. At least the ones that I do with her are archived on my website. Well, Sharon sent me, and I hope you don't mind me quoting. Sharon's here with us this evening, by the way. So, Sharon, I hope you don't mind me quoting you. You sent me this absolutely lovely letter this evening earlier, and I want to read it here because it's so special, and it's going to be just a wonderful opportunity to share this with everybody who's online listening. This was written by Elizabeth Gilbert. And Sharon, first, I want to say thank you very much for sharing this. This just lifted my spirits when I read it. That's why I want to read it for everybody else. Elizabeth writes, some years ago, I was stuck on a crosstown bus in New York City. I've been there. I know how horrible that is. During rush hour. Traffic was terrible, was barely moving. The bus was filled with cold, tired people who were deeply irritated with one another, with the world itself. Two men barked at each other about a shove that might or might not have been intentional. A pregnant woman got on, and nobody offered her a seat. Rage was in the air. No mercy could be found here. But as the bus approached 7th Avenue, the driver got on the intercom. Folks, he said, I know you've had a rough day and you're frustrated. I can't do anything about the weather or the traffic, but here's what I can do. As each one of you gets off the bus, I'll reach my hand out to you. And as you walk by, just drop your troubles into the palm of my hand, okay? Don't take your problems home to your families tonight, but leave them with me. Okay. Oh, he was serious. At the next stop, just as promised, the driver reached out his hand, palm up, and he waited. One by one, all of the exciting commuters placed their hand just above his and mimed the gesture of dropping something into his palm. Some people laughed as they did so, and some teared up, but everyone did it. The driver repeated this same lovely ritual at the next stop too, and the next, all the way to the river. Everyone, we live in a hard world, my friends. Sometimes it's extra difficult to be a human being. Sometimes you've had a bad day. Sometimes you've had a bad day that lasts for several years. You struggle and fail. You lose jobs, money, friends, faith, and love. You witness horrible events unfolding in the news, and you become fearful and withdrawn. There are times when everything seems cloaked in darkness. You long for the light, but you don't know where to find it. But what if you are the light? What if you are the very agent of illumination that a dark situation begs for? That's what this bus driver taught me, that anyone can be the light at any moment. This guy wasn't some big power player. He wasn't a spiritual leader. He wasn't some media savvy influencer. He was a bus driver, one of society's most invisible workers, but he possessed a real power and he used it beautifully for our benefit. When life feels especially grim, or when I feel particularly powerless in the face of the world's troubles, I think of this man and I ask myself, what can I do right now to be the light? Of course, I can't personally end all wars or solve global warming or transform vexing people into entirely different creatures. I definitely can't control traffic, but I do have some influence on everyone I brush up against, even if we never speak or learn each other's names. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, or how mundane or tough your situation may seem, I believe you can illuminate your world. In fact, this is the only way the world will ever be illuminated, one bright act of grace at a time, all the way to the river. Wow, that is powerful. And I want to thank the author of this, again, is Elizabeth Gilbert. And I want to thank Sharon Lynn Wyeth for sending that to me earlier today. And I want to thank my guides for the timing that I had the opportunity to share this with you this evening. That was powerful, folks. And that's the way I decided I wanted to start our psychic hour this evening. So when we get to our readings tonight, you know that I always ask you to tell me where you're from and give me your first name only, and tell me what you're most grateful for. Well, I want you to do that. But I also want you to add something that you were able to bring a little bit of light to today. So what are you grateful for? And who did you help? Who did you give a leg up? Who did you just think of and send some joy to? Did you have an opportunity? I think we sometimes use the word pass it forward. Did you have an opportunity to pass your light forward today? I'd love to hear that from you. And then, of course, I want to know your sun sign, and I want to know what your specific question is. When my guides do readings here with you monthly, they're knowing that there's a huge group of people listening. They're also knowing that there are people who are going to listen to the recording of this on YouTube who aren't here tonight, who maybe have never even heard of this until they see it on YouTube sometime next month. My guides know who all those people are. And what's truly amazing to me, always has been, is that my guides can be answering all of your questions at the same time. And they can even be answering the questions of people in the future who haven't heard this yet, that don't even know they're going to listen to it, but are. And my guides are answering their questions now. How they do this, I don't have a clue, but I know that they do it. So if you're here with me live this evening and you don't get your question answered, be very aware that you should be listening to the entire session, because somebody else's question is going to come up and my guides will slip in the name you want to hear, or the thing you want to know about, or the feeling you're having, and you're going to get your question answered. If you're not here with me this evening, if you're listening to this sometime in the future, still listen to the entire thing, because my guides knew ahead of time that you were going to listen to it, and they're going to slip your answers in while somebody else is getting theirs. It works that way. It truly does, folks. How they do it, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I know they do it. Okay? So thank you so much, all of you, present and future, for being here with me this evening. And those of you who stay on the call with me until the end of our session tonight, you are going to be given the opportunity, even if you didn't get your question directly answered by having me call on you or Lisa call on you when your hand was raised, I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask one simple short question at any time before 9 p.m. tomorrow evening Eastern Time. And as long as that question hits my inbox, then I will answer it. I need to know the same information that I ask you for here. your name, where you're from, your birthday or your sun sign. That's all I really need, your sun sign, and your short question, and also, of course, what you're grateful for this evening. Okay, folks, I'm going to start by giving my announcements, and then we're going to jump right in. First thing I want to mention is in my app, okay, I have an open forum on my website. Matter of fact, let me show you two things about my website. First off, oops, where'd my website go? It was here. I promise you it was here. There it is. Okay, here's my website. When you go to my website, folks, you're going to see this. Please sign up for my free monthly newsletter. That's where it all starts. When you sign up for my newsletter, I'm going to give you a free little download just for signing up. But every month you're going to get my write-ups about your astrology signs and things that are on my mind, things that I'm advertising, and all the discounts and things that I'm running. So sign up for my monthly newsletter if you haven't done that yet. But I wanted you to see this home page for another reason too. You see this little sign up here that says My Library? Well, as soon as you sign up for my newsletter, you're automatically going to get invited to my open community. I'm going to go here now. And that open community looks like this. And you just sign in, and now you're going to be able to communicate with everybody else who's taking the psychic hour. And I'm not going to read all these because there's far too many, but when you sign up for my newsletter, you can come back and read them. There are so many beautiful, wonderful posts here for people who have things on their mind or are looking for things on the site or have psychic experiences they want to share and they don't have anybody else to share them with. Folks, we all in our world have psychic experiences. We all experience things that are just different in our lives. And I know myself, when I was developing my own skills and abilities, and they were happening so fast and furious, and I didn't know what they were. And I had nobody to talk to. I thought I was crazy for a while. I didn't know how to control it. Back then, there were no books or anything in writing to tell you what to do about it. And so I thought, okay, what do I do about this? Do I put myself in a psychiatrist's office? And I was lucky. I had a couple of friends that I could talk to about these things who didn't think I was crazy. I had one that I could actually share experiences with because she was what I call a closet psychic. She'd always had these abilities, but didn't tell people about them. And that's what got me over the hump and really got me to a point where I was able to really be who I am and didn't have to hide who I am and what I am from the world. If I didn't do all that, folks, I wouldn't be here with you every month being able to give you information from my guides and yours. So that's why I have that open forum. And as soon as you sign up for my newsletter, you're going to get invited to it. And you will have like-minded people that you can speak with and communicate with in a private and very safe place. And of course, you get to ask me and Lisa questions because we do monitor it. And if there's something you really need help with, we're there. Okay. So it's a way of getting to us and communicating with us all month long as well. Okay. So please join my monthly newsletter, join that, and join the forum and post in our membership forum. Well, not our membership forum, our community forum. Now, if you missed any of these webinars, these web classes, they are still available. The cost is $25. They're on my website. The Intro to Spirit Communication, I did that all the way back in November. Actually, no, I think that was October. And I did the I'm Not Psychic webinar, or Am I, in November. And then I did What's Happening in 2022 in December. I know a lot of you took all three of those classes and you're happy with them and you have them in your library and you know, you are just glad you were there. But there are a lot of you on here that didn't have a chance to go to them. They are still available. The cost to the open public is $25. Folks, if you are a VIP member, you can still have each one, well, the first two, the Intro to Spirit Communication and the I'm Not Psychic or Am I, these first two, you can still have those if you're a VIP member. You can still have them for $10 a piece, but you've got to contact Lisa to get them. She'll send them to you. Okay, and just to comment, I'm going to zip over here for a minute. If you are a VIP, your next coaching call is December 30th. So, you know, bring your champagne with you because we're going to be celebrating an early New Year's Eve together. And if you don't drink, well, bring your bubbly of anything with you. Bubbly, I just found in Sam's Club, it was great. Bubbly, um, not tomato juice, the purple stuff, grape juice, bubbly grape juice. I was like, wow, that's for me. So at any rate, if you're a VIP, our next coaching call is December 30th, and we are going to have a great time. You're going to get to ask me all kinds of questions about my What's Happening in 2022 webinar, because I feel like there's a whole lot more to go there. And so we're going to tap into that, might see what my guides have to say more about that. And we're going to party with each other and answer your questions like we always do. So those of you who are new to this, you too can join and become a VIP. And right now, I'm skipping over to December holiday specials over here. Number one, my VIP membership drive is over December 31st. But right now, you're going to be able, in addition to getting these two, Intro to Spirit Communication and I'm Not Psychic or Am I, in addition to getting those for only $10 each, you can get your 12 Ways to Open Your Own Gifts webinar for free. And if you're already a VIP and you recommend somebody, well, you and them are going to get that webinar for free. Just go through Lisa and she'll take care of that. And of course, Lisa, folks, is the gal who's in the chat room with you right now. And she's the one who's going to be answering your questions when you raise your hand to have them asked when I start doing your question and answers. Okay? While I'm over here, let me just take a quick breeze down here. There's some free stuff happening. You all know at this point that because you're my insiders, this isn't for sale on to the general public yet. This is for sale to people who are on the psychic hour, my students, my clients. Nobody else knows about it yet because it hasn't been advertised broadly. The Anastasia System of Psychic Development early enrollment period ends December 31st. So it's during this period that you actually get your best bonuses, okay, because it's not for sale yet at its normal price. The class itself is going to start January 26th, 2022. I don't know where the 4 came in there. Let's, I see what happened. Sandy is not always real good at these things. She needs Lisa to get her to straighten herself out. Look at that. See that? Fixed. Okay. So that class is going to begin January 26th of 2022. It's this January. Folks, if you've been sitting on the fence about it, please sign up now. Time to get off, because off that fence, if you sign up for it right now, you're going to get all these extra benefits. You're going to get my Psychic Protection Tips whole course. And that course is normally selling for $30 on the front of my website. You're going to get my Intro to Spirit Communication, and you'll see that right over here. Well, you're going to get it for free. Just let Lisa know you're joining in. Now, this has not been offered to anybody so far. It's just something that I've decided to do this evening. If you're here and you're listening to my psychic hour, Lisa can give you this, but you have to go through her. You have to tell her I want it. I'm going to join the Anastasia system in January, and she's going to give this to you for free if you don't have it already. And also the I'm Not Psychic or Am I? Okay, so you're going to get these 2 classes, actually these 3 classes for free. Right there, that's worth well over, probably close to $150. Now, you're also going to get +1+ courses in the series for free. Now, what does that mean? Normally, the series is $3,000 when it's not when you're not getting this early enrollment discount. By getting the discount, you're going to end up getting what would be 1 whole class, because there are 6 levels to this class. You're going to get 1 whole level for free and part of another, okay, if you buy it into the early enrollment period. And also, we're letting you pay that whole amount, because it has to be paid in full before the class begins to get that discount. You're going to get to pay it in 2 payments. So this is tremendous. My 3rd bonus for December, I'm still running it up until the 31st. All of my readings, folks, if you didn't hear about this, all of my readings right now are discounted 20%. I only do this once a year. And to get this, you have to use the code SUPERREAD20. On December 31st, this goes away. So any reading that's on my website, that's full priced. The ones that are discounted already, you don't get a discount. But if it's full priced, you get 20% off of it. And Remember this, although I do offer 20% discounts on different readings and services throughout the year, I never offer it on everything. This only happens now. Matter of fact, I don't think it's ever happened before. Okay, so if you think you want to get a reading with me, please book it before the end of the year. You can get that reading at any time. Okay, anytime throughout 2022, but you have to book it before December 31st. Okay, and here are the exceptions. The year at a glance reading, I call that my YAG reading. Since it's only $195 between December 1st and January 1st, that one's not on the 20% off because it's more than 20% off, okay? Its normal price, it's going to go back to that after January 1st, is $250. So if you want to get that year at a glance reading, that gives you a leg up all through next year. It tells you month by month by month what's going to happen for you all year long. Book it now, and you get a savings of $55. And last, let's change that. I was really remiss on this, wasn't I, this time? Sorry about that, folks. My reading and coaching package, only $995 through December 31st. Wow. Okay. Now, that sounds like it's a lot of money, but when you figure that I charge $250 for each session, and if I'm only charging $995, that means you're getting 2 free sessions. You can book those sessions anytime all year at your convenience. So you could book one a month for 6 months. You could book one every week for 6 weeks. You could book one every 2 months and go through the whole year. It's your choice where you want to go with this. Some people just get the package as psychic readings. Maybe they're going through a rough time in their life and they want that hand to hold to know what's coming next. And other people, have a lot of people who use it as coaching. My guides, folks, when I coach, you're not just getting Sandy as a coach, you're getting my guides as a coach. They're pretty unbelievable. They know what you need to be prepared for and what your skills are and your abilities are, and they can give the most amazing coaching information and coaching experience you've ever had. So there are 2 ways you can use that discount, either for coaching or for readings. And it's only $995 through December 31st. Okay. Zip over here to the right side. Next psychic hour, please write it down, is January 30th, 2022. I'm sure if I know Lisa that by tomorrow, she's going to have all of those up on the sign-up sheet so that you're going to be able to get on to GoToMeeting and sign up for all of them. Yes, Lisa? I was surprised when I went on tonight and I looked at, what? They're not there? Lisa usually has them all booked like a year in advance. So she's been otherwise involved, which I know because I'm making her work hard. Okay, but they'll be up and you can go in and sign up early. I do suggest you sign up early, and I suggest when you actually come, you get here early to make sure that you get in, because sometimes I have too many people and people get bounced off. And if that happens to you, I really apologize in advance. Just sign up early, get here. Okay. Okay, Lisa, I am ready to take my first client. And yes, I know I talked a lot this evening because I read that wonderful thing first that Sharon sent. And so we're going to go a little bit late this evening, just giving you guys a heads up, okay? I'm not cheating you. Okay, Lisa, who's our first person?
Okay, first I have to defend myself. GoToMeeting won't allow me to put the full year of Psychic Hour up yet until we get past this year.
I knew you had issues. You've got.
Yes, I don't normally do that until the last week of December, so that we can get rid of this year and start a brand new year. But it will be up, hopefully, by the last week of December.
Well, I know you, so I guarantee it. And, I really was very, very confused about that because you're so on the ball. You really are. I was like, okay, what happened here? Thank you for telling me.
Okay, all of you guys heard that? So she said, oh, it's wonderful. Yay! Merry Christmas to me.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into this. The first person or victim, if you will, that we're going to pick on tonight is going to be Angela. Angela, can you unmute yourself?
I think I am. Can you hear me?
I can, Angela.
Okay. Well, my name is Angela, and I'm from Tampa. I'm an Aquarius. I'm grateful for my sons. I don't think I showed any light today. I pretty much stayed hidden away. Took a break from people.
Well, we all need those kinds of days. But, here's your chance to shed some light right now, because with your question on this psychic hour, you're going to be helping to answer other people's questions as well. Okay. And who you said you're most grateful your sons. Thank you.
Yes.
And here's where you're at, Angela. This is interesting because you all know by now, because I give you an astrology lesson every month. But there are only 30 degrees per sign. So since 13 Aquarius is on the house cusp that represents Aquarius, Aquarius has got stuff going on that has to do with day-to-day life and work experiences and health issues. So life has got you running, Angela. I'm not surprised that you needed to take that R&R day. The other half of this is in the seventh house, which is the house of relationship. That's really interesting because Saturn right here talks about relationships of all kinds for you Aquarians being a little bit of a burden, or at the very, very least, maybe just a lot of responsibility right now. And again, a reason maybe to want to withdraw a little bit just to be able to regroup and see how you want to handle each thing that's coming up in your life. The interesting thing is that Jupiter, which is the planet of freedom and release and growing and just experiencing the world and traveling, Jupiter's in Aquarius too. So at the same time that these relationships are bringing you restrictions and responsibility, they're also in many ways getting you to experience freedom that you've never had before. It may even be because they're stimulating your need to be more independent and take charge and be somebody that maybe you haven't quite been. Am I making some sense, Angela?
Yes.
Okay. So all of this is going to be really good for you Aquarians. And I want to also show you something else that's going on here. There's a hard aspect right now between Aquarius and the sign that's in the middle of it, is Taurus, and Uranus, the planet of change and revolutions in Taurus. And as an Aquarian, and Uranus is your ruling planet, one of them, and Saturn is your other ruling planet. I hope you guys are paying attention to this if you're an Aquarian. This means that you are at war within yourself. And the ultimate war is the war between your desire to satisfy your own needs and your own passions and your own freedoms and the life experience that's it. Can you mute yourself, Angela, so that you can get that back? Lisa, can you mute her? Yeah, and I'll unmute you when it's time to talk. We were just getting a backwash that will be make it hard for people to understand me. I'm going to repeat that last little bit. Because Uranus, one of your ruling planets, and Saturn, the other ruling planet, are in a hard aspect, 90-degree aspect with each other, that says you're fighting yourself. And all Aquarians are fighting themselves. And right now, if you are a Scorpio, another fixed sign. If you are a Taurus, another fixed sign. If you are a Leo, another fixed sign. You're also getting this fixed sign square between Uranus and Aquarius. It's just that Angela's getting it directly. So she's experiencing it directly. All of you other signs are experiencing it either through your mate or through the experiences the world is bringing to you that you can't quite cope with. But no matter whether it's a reflection of the world to you or whether it's yourself, it really means that you're at war with yourself. And your war is, I want to do this, but I also want to do this. I want to be free, but I want this responsibility. I want to tie myself down to this partner, but I don't want them to have to be with me 24 hours a day. I want to take care of my mom and my dad, but I don't want them to interfere with my life. I want to move my mother in with me, but I don't want to have to see her every day. Are you getting this, folks? Okay. I want to travel and move across the country, but I do not want to leave my friends. Okay. I want to go to college, but I want to be able to do it while I sit at my computer. The problem is they don't offer the master's or the degree that I want when I'm at my computer. I have to be there. I want to do something that helps people and gives my light to the world, but oh dear, I don't want to have to deal with people. I want a job where I can be seen and be the person who's a go-to person, but I don't want to have to deal with people and I don't want to manage people. Okay, so Angela, How is this reflecting you right now? Lisa, can you unmute her? Hello, Angela.
Angela, can you unmute yourself? It says you're self-muted again.
Hello.
Hi there, Angela.
Yeah, that's exactly what's been going on.
And now, see, you did share your light with the world because, and I know it's specific, but a lot of that stuff I know was really specific to you. And guess what? All of the other fixed signs, the Taurians, the Leos, and the Scorpios who are on here, and the other Aquarians are all experiencing some rendition of this. So this was a real important thing to bring out right now. So can I ask you what you're doing about this? How are you resolving this yourself?
Right now, I'm just trying to go with the flow and quit fighting the push and pull and just write it out.
Oh, I love it.
You know, whether it's making jewelry or painting or, you know, whatever it is I have to do, breathing exercises.
Yeah. You know, the reason I'm smiling so much, Angela, is that, you know, life has a way, whether Sandy and her guides are here to advise or not, as soon as you start paying attention to that little voice within and you stop pushing against everything around you and you start going with the flow, isn't it amazing how those doors start to open? So you said making jewelry and you said dealing with this or that, and all of a sudden those doors are opening. And those are things that can make you feel good and can maybe lead you into a new future that you would not otherwise have seen for yourself. Cool, huh? It's happening.
Yes.
There's a story that Esther Hicks tells. I want to give credit because this is a great story. She says, isn't it amazing that so many of us jump into the rowboat that's in the stream and we immediately grab the oars and try to row upstream? And then she says, folks, there's nothing you want that's upstream. She says, I promise you, nothing you want is upstream. Just let go of those stupid oars and let the boat spin you around a little bit and then start taking you in the direction you're supposed to be heading. What great advice is that? And that's exactly what you're doing right now, Angela. Okay. Angela, I pulled a couple of cards for you. The first one is the Ten of Cups, which talks to me about the real happiness and joy in your family situation right now. The second one, here I'm talking about you and your boys, the immediate family. The second one I pulled was the Ten of Pentacles, and it's upside down. This one is about the greater family. You can see it. I'm going to turn it right side up so you can see it. It shows the family all gathered around, and those pentacles are all money issues. So around you, there are financial issues. There are issues with people in your family. There are personal issues. There are little wars. And of course, you're looking at the upcoming holiday and saying, oh, you know, here I go again. And the thing that's important about this is that you really can't do anything to resolve somebody else's problem that they have created because their personality and their way of handling these things is what's created that problem. So you have to let them, this is what karma is really all about. You have to let them work their way through their problem so that they can finally learn what causes it and what they have to change within themselves to not repeat that problem over and over again. That's why we say that karma is cause and effect, and anything we set into motion has to complete itself. That's true karma. So the people around you, you really not only can't you in this case, but you also shouldn't get involved and fix it for them. As a matter of fact, if everybody hadn't been fixing it for them for years and years and years, they wouldn't be having this problem now because they would have learned those lessons. Okay, so the best thing you can do to share your light with these friends and family around you that have all these issues is to simply smile and hold their hand and be there for them. You don't have to do it for them. You don't have to give them money. You don't have to tell them how to fix their lives. You can just smile and share yourself. Okay? And hopefully that's going to resolve a whole lot of these emotional issues that you're going through right now. You have some big questions. That's what the Seven of Cups I also pulled for you is all about. You have some big questions in your heart because the things that you want to do that are going to make you and your immediate family happy are things that are going to take you away from these other people that you also love. And so you've been sitting on the fence for a long time. Do I put myself first and my immediate family first, or do I put everybody else's needs and desires first? And I think you now know the answer to that, don't you? What are you going to do?
Yeah, I've been working on that and just throwing myself into real estate for a change.
Doing what you want and you choose to do. Now, something you're going to absolutely think is kind of fun. Real estate is all about the fourth house cusp. There's a hard aspect here between your Aquarian self and that fourth house cusp. And in the fourth house, the freedom aspect is the South Node in Mars, which is a sextile to these. So you've been thinking about making a move, making a change that would put you into a better real estate market. Guess what? That inner feeling is your answer. It's correct. And it means that you're going to have to say, I can't let everybody else around me be telling me how to do what my inner self knows how to do. So which voice are you going to listen to? All the yapping voices or the inner voice?
Oh my, I've already started to ignore people.
Good, very good. Okay, did you have a specific question or did my guides answer it already?
No, I'd always just sit back and wait and just see what message it is that I need to hear.
Well, you got it.
So
Yep. Thank you.
whenever I try to go for something specific, I never get the answer anyway. So
Interesting. Well, and that may be, I always tell this to my students that I'm teaching, that a lot of times when you're not getting the answer or the correct answer, when you're asking a question, it's because your question isn't being phrased correctly. So you might have this question in mind, this single pointed question, but when you start to answer it, your mind goes big and you've got all these other things in your mind. And so your question doesn't have this specificity that it needs to get the accurate answer. So one of the things you can do, like next time you're on Psychic Hour, and those people who are going to send in questions afterwards, don't just, lob a question off. Think about it. Set a time limit. Make sure it's specific to exactly what you want. The more specific you are, the more accurate your answer is going to be. Okay? Well,
okay, thank you.
thank you. Okay, I'm going to move on to my next person, and I want to thank you so very much for asking a great question that got us a good start off. Thank you. And who's our next person?
All right, second person tonight is going to be Deb. Deb, can you unmute yourself? There you go.
Hi,
Hello there, Deb. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, very good. Excited about the new year coming up. Very excited. Okay.
Yes, it is exciting.
So, where are you from, and what are you most grateful for?
I am from the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. I am a Gemini. Right now, I'm very grateful. I am dog sitting for my daughter for her 3 elderly dogs, as they have taken the next 2 weeks off, and they are traveling from California and hitting all the states all the way up to Tennessee, looking to where God is leading us. We are both putting our houses up for sale.
Wow.
And we have no idea where we're going. There's actually 4 different family members, and we're all going to go in on property, but we have no idea where God is leading us, and they're on the road right now.
Awesome.
So I guess that's what my question would be. I'm just very grateful that I'm getting to spend time with her dogs and have time by myself. And I've totally cleaned her house top to bottom, knowing it's going for sale. So.
Okay. Well, there's some interesting things going on here. First, I want to talk about the whole concept of Gemini here, okay? If you are a mutable sign, that's Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, and Sagittarius, these answers are going to be for you, okay? Gemini is right up here in the, this is my career, this is where I'm going with my life, this is where the world is leading me, this is the way I want the world to see me, this is my life direction. So you're right on with your question, okay? And so all immutable signs right now are going to be thinking about those things, but Gemini in particular is taking action on it. And again, we've got only 12 degrees of Gemini on the cusp here, which means that half of the sign is about taking action about your future, and the other half of the sign is about your third child, if you have three. It's also about you taking care of your friends and the people around you there and resolving all these things. So, you've got some pretty hefty ties to your past there that you're going to have to kind of resolve before you can let go. And that's showing up here too. So for all of you mutable signs, right now is going to be about career. It's going to be about life direction. It's also going to be about friends and loved ones and the kind of love that you want to give out of yourself to other people and that you want to be there for them. Well, one of the interesting things here is that just like our friend before was having a hard aspect to these planets, Saturn and Uranus, or Saturn and Jupiter in the house of relationships, you're having a very nice aspect. This is a trine. And Jupiter is about travel, and Saturn is about job. Cool, huh? And I've got to tell you, the opposition, you can see that to the opposite side of the chart, which is the South Node in Sag and Mars in Sag. I'd almost be sure that one of your kids that you sent looking is a Sag or has a lot of Saggy energy. And that was very wise. The reason I'm saying that is that the first card that I pulled up here is a Nine of Swords and it's inverted. And you're not the gal to want to move. You love where you are in the Sierra Mountains in California. It's been a wonderful place to be for all these years. And you desperately don't want to leave it. You're rooted there. And yet, these last couple of years, look at that card. That Nine of Swords is showing somebody sitting up in bed in the middle of the night holding their head, upset, not able to sleep, nightmares going on. You've been having a hard time. So is the people you love, so is your environment. And it's been a hard decision for you to say, okay, well, okay, maybe we have to go. And you spent a long time. Here's the next card I pulled, the inverted Page of Swords. You knew you were supposed to move years back and didn't. So apparently you're very psychic. You knew and you didn't. And you didn't because you love it, okay? And even now you're having trouble letting go. So what have you done? You've sent the kids, smart ladies, who have less attachment than you, who are on an adventure and who are going to be able to get their emotions out of the way and really be able to tap into the environments to find out where's the best place to find work, where's the best economy, where's the place that feels the best. Smart gal, this is going to work for you. I also pulled this card. It's an inverted Justice card. And yeah, I think you and I both know what that's all about. It's like, yes, what's going on right now is very unfair. There might be some legal situations around you or one of the other family members who's moving that have to be resolved. And, things aren't going to work out a fair way. There's property values that aren't what they were a year ago. And this is unfair too. But you want to know something? You are following, I took 4 cards for you. This is the Hanged Man. You're following that inner self, that inner energy that says, this is the time, and this is what we know we need to do. Let's go ahead, let's pool our forces, let's do it together where we're the strongest. And that's another thing that's going on for all of you mutable signs, and especially the air signs. The air signs are Geminis, Libras, and Aquarians. And right now you're finding that if you pool your resources, if you pool your communication, if you pool your energies together, you can accomplish so much more than you can if you do it individually. So all of you mutable signs are making new beginnings for yourself. And all of you air signs are doing it in groups together. Okay? Now, I also pulled this card. That was actually the first one I pulled, which is a 4 of Cups. Shows a person in meditation, following their guides, following their higher self, waiting. And that's the position you find yourself in right now. The waiting for what the kids are going to come up with. And I know they're going to come up with something which is joyous and beautiful for you. You know why? because the North Node right now is passing through Gemini. And what doors are opening for you right now are good ones. They're ones that are allowing you to develop yourself and achieve the life situation and the family experience and the work experience that you truly want. So this is going to work out for you. I can, from the chart, I can guarantee it. It looks like they're going to find a place that feels very comfortable and familiar to you. So I don't know where they're going. You might even might be a place you came from years ago, or you have some friends at, but it's going to feel comfortable and familiar. Do you have any specific question?
No, wow, you were right on. Yeah, there was an incident with one of my sons that lived on our property, and originally I hadn't wanted to leave, and now I know that we're done and we are leaving. And you're right, I did send the kids out to scout out. And yeah, no, this sounds really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck to you. Happy
Okay.
holidays and a very happy new year. It's going to be a great one.
You also. Thank you.
And Lisa, who's our next caller?
Alrighty, our third victim tonight is going to be Gayla. Hi, Gayla.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Gayla.
I'm Gayla. I'm in Discovery Bay, California, and my birth date is 2/25/50. And I'm grateful for those who supported me in dealing with grief. Really great people around me.
Okay, Gayla, let me tell you what I'm seeing for you first, and then I'll give you a chance to ask your specific question. And, I'm glad you started out. I'm grateful to people who are helping you dealing with grief, because that's where I was going. And this information is also going to be for the other mutable signs, not just the Pisceans, which is who Kayla is astrologically, but also the Geminis, the Virgos, and the Sagittarians, all of whom are dealing with some aspect of grief or loss in their lives. Okay? The first thing I did with you is I pulled some cards, and the first card coming up is this Queen of Pentacles who's inverted. That represents you. And, when you're not stuck in grief, you really aren't the wimpy, whiny Pisces at all. You are the mover, the shaker, and the person who can carry the world on her back, Pisces. And right now, you're not yourself. And I've got to tell you, it's been very, very hard. So I'm grateful that you're grateful for these people who are reaching out and helping you, because you're not good at accepting help, which is highly unusual for Pisces. Pisces are usually good at that. You're not good at that, okay? And so it's nice that they're there for you. So I'm giving them, this is the one I said, where's the light that you've given to other people? Well, here's the light that's coming to you. And please tell all those people from Sandy Anastasia that I'm grateful that that's happening. Because what that says to me is that this is the light that you've given to the world for so many, many years yourself, coming back to you in your time of need. Okay? Accept it as such. You're not taking advantage. People are doing for you what they're doing because they love you, because you are who you are. You need to accept that. Okay? I also see something else here. This is an inverted Page of Swords. And that tells me that, you're locked up within yourself. So I'm really grateful that when you came on, you were able to even say, I'm dealing with grief. Because there was a while you didn't even say that. Okay? You're locking up all those emotions. You're behaving more like a Scorpio. Scorpio does that than a Pisces. Who knows? You might have a Scorpio moon. But the thing is, you're locking yourself down. You're not wanting to talk. You're thinking you're supposed to still be strong, still be able to lead everybody up the mountain. And, everybody has their moment when they have to accept that they're weak, and they have to accept that this is your time to be able to lean on someone else and get help and get that succor that you need to be able to pull through. Okay? This, I'm assuming, is a fairly recent thing. I'm getting an inverted Ace of Swords, which talks about loss and death and that whole thing of having trouble even putting it into words. It feels like it's so recent, regardless if it even was 20 years ago, it's so recent in your emotional experience that you're kind of spinning from it. You're still not sure what you should do, where you should do, who you can rely on. And my guides are showing this card. It's the Lovers. It's a major arcana card. It's the sixth major arcana card. And it says that choices and decisions have to be made. But you know, they don't need to be made this moment. Did you hear that? They don't need to be made this moment. You can sit with yourself and find that inner point of light within you. It's still there. And in accepting the love of all these other people around you, it's going to help you to find that point of light within yourself more powerfully, stronger, more quickly. The person that you've lost, you're going to be able to hear their voice when you're in a quiet mode as opposed to an emotional mode. And that is going to help to give you direction. Understand that your choices don't have to be forced. They're going to flow. Your choices will be made correctly when you're in that flow. You know, when you're in the boat going with the flow instead of pushing up the river. You don't have to push up the river right now. You can let go. You can relax. You can go with the flow. And life's choices are going to become clear to you, and you will make the right ones. So quit being so fearful about making wrong choices. Okay? Now, let me show you what's going on here for Pisces in general. Some of this is, again, your sign is bridging two houses. It's hitting the tail end of the seventh house, so I'm assuming that your life partner is the person who passed. Jupiter can often be a passage. And Neptune is the planet that talks about death and strong psychic connections. I want to jump on something that's important for you to understand. When you have the kind of connection that you had to this person who passed, it's a psychic connection. It's not just an emotional, we really cared about one another. It's a psychic connection. And it's a connection that's really very loving. When that other person passes, that connection doesn't go away. And as they're getting used to being on the other side, you're feeling that person in their experience on the other side. And for you, it feels very disorienting because you see, you're here in the physical. So please be aware that this is not a good time for you to be making choices and decisions because you're not your normal self. Half of you is here and half of you is there because of your emotional and psychic connection to the person who passed. You're helping to give them grounding as they go through their transition. And as they put their feet on the ground on the other side, you're going to start to come back to yourself. Will that loving, wonderful connection ever end? It doesn't have to. I talk to my loved ones every single day. If everybody out there thinks I'm crazy, fine, let them think I'm crazy. I talk to them, I feel them. I can't touch them, but they're still there. We can still love each other, okay? That love isn't going to go away. But what will go away is that disorientation, because you're feeling it, because they're feeling it, and your psychic bond to them is you're helping to give them grounding so that they can be whole as they come to the knowledge that they're now on the other side. And God, the freedom this person's going to experience, okay? And you didn't just lose one person. There's a couple. There's somebody else over there, I think, is a mother figure or a female that you were so close to. But, you're going to start to replace the feeling of loss with this feeling of incredible love when you think about them. But first, you've got to be able to let them go, to let them be whole over there and let you be whole over here. And then that joy bond of love can just pierce the veil. And it will be wonderful for all of you. Now, do you have a specific question?
Well, my question had to do with what I need to do to open up communication with the non-physical.
Well, the biggest thing that you can do to open up communication with the non-physical is becoming less emotional. Watch what I'm going to show you. And so right now it's going to be hard because you're this bundle of emotion and I want to connect. I don't want to let them go. Okay. And that whole energy of don't go. You feel it? It's a constricting energy. It's a contracting energy. Well, the thing that will connect you to your loved ones and allow that communication is love. And love isn't about contracting and holding on. Love is about releasing and extending love and then allowing the flow to happen. Love is about allowing. So the more emotional you become and the more intense you become, the harder it's going to be to hear them. When you let go, knowing they're there, it's interesting. It sounds like a conundrum, a contradiction, but it's not. You let them go, knowing they're there, and all of a sudden you can hear them, you can feel them. Okay? Because,
It's just,
yeah,
it's been 8 years. It's a long time.
yeah. Well, what happens for you is when you think about them, you contract, you cut them off. You are very psychic. It goes with being a Pisces. All Pisces are. And you folks who are Pisces on the floor right now, this Neptune is showing up in the 8th house, which is the house of mediumship and psychic abilities. So all the Pisces who are listening on this call are all very psychic and all aware and all have recently lost something. So this kind of goes with the sign right now. And the important thing for you to remember is that the more emotional you become, the less likelihood you have of being able to communicate. You're cutting them off. It's literally like you're cutting off the oxygen hose. The energy of communication can't come through because your emotion constricts it. So when you meditate first, when you find joy, when you're in your normal, everyday, happiest moments is when you're going to hear his voice. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So listen for it. Don't force it. Listen for it. Be open to it and be open to it in joy. And when it comes, don't say, oh, because that's constricting. When it comes, say, ah. See the difference? Open.
Yep.
Don't constrict. Okay? It's there. It's there. This love, you've got love all around you on both sides of the veil. You've got a lot of people on both sides of the veil who are helping you and reaching out. But you need to do a whole lot of letting go before you can start to embrace those abilities that you always had and have recently lost. But you haven't really lost them. They're just waiting for you to let go and open. Okay? Take my
Yes.
course. It'll help. Yes, right over here. Take that. It's going to help. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. And Lisa, who's our next person?
All right, our fourth victim for the night is going to be Karen H.
Okay, Karen.
Karen H. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hello.
So, Karen, where are you calling from and what's your sun sign?
Pennsylvania, and my sun sign's Libra.
I love that we're getting all these air signs too tonight. I don't often get a lot of air signs, although I think last month we had a lot of Libras too. Here you are. Libra again is bridging two signs, but most of you is in the 3rd house, which is all about brothers and sisters and close friends and real communication, big time. And remember, if you're an air sign, that would be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. This stuff is going to pertain to you. And also if you're a cardinal sign, that would be Aries and Libra and Capricorn and Cancer. Okay? Now I want you to look at what I'm going to draw here. Cancer, 1 cardinal sign, hard aspect to Chiron, that's the healing planetoid, in Aries, hard aspect. Hard aspect to Mercury, Pluto, Venus in Capricorn. So this is a T-square. And when you just look at the T, there's the crossbar with the T between Cancer and Capricorn. Here's the long part of the T. And it's pointing right at you, Libra. So there are all kinds of family issues going on right now, aren't there? And you're expected to fix them and resolve them. And the frustrating thing is that either you are in another place or they are. There's distance, okay? Or it may be just that you guys don't really normally talk about these things. So even if you can see the solutions, and even if everybody expects you to give the solutions, you can't, okay? So that's both frustrating and also really a happy moment, isn't it? Okay. It's like life is just creating this situation for you where you get to stand back. And if you're a cardinal sign, folks, if you're a Libra, an Aries, a Capricorn, or a Cancer, you're having this happen in your life, you get to stand back from the emotional fray that's going on around you. Occasionally, you get to be the punching bag. Occasionally, you get to make a comment, but not too often. And all this stuff is going on for everybody, and you get to see it all and you know it all, but you can't really do anything about it. And that's putting you in that frustrating position because you're supposed to be the family's fixer, and everybody expects you to be their fixer, and you can't do it right now. But it also is giving you a chance to realize that you don't have to fix everything. Didn't that sound like the Aquarian gal that we talked to before, who's also an air sign, going through the same kind of stuff? Mm-hmm. So when you decide to jump in and do something, what's going to be interesting is that you're going to do it in a very different way than you otherwise would have, because you are going to have seen the whole picture instead of the little piece. Is that making sense to you?
Mhm.
So the universe has a reason for making it impossible for you to take action right now. And that's so that you really get to see everything. And by seeing everything, when you do decide to jump in and say something or do something, it's actually going to be a far more informed move, choice, whatever it's going to be, statement than it otherwise would have been. Okay? So you're really learning. You're growing tremendously. I've
Yes.
two cards for you. There's this
Awesome.
inverted Nine of Pentacles, and this is basically you saying, I'm not real happy where I'm at right now. I don't really want to be alone in this situation, but I also don't want to be involved either. Okay? So, you're kind of edgy, not quite knowing where you belong or what you need to be doing because you don't really know what's going to make you happy. I have a suggestion. Take out a piece of paper. All air signs need to do this, by the way. If you're a Gemini, an Aquarian, or a Libra, we air signs, we heal through communication. And if you're not talking to someone, you need to write. Okay? So journal what's on your mind right now. Journal it. And one of the things I'd like to see you do, and you probably have never done before, is to actually make a list of all those things that if it was a perfect world and there were no financial needs and there were no other people telling you what you should or shouldn't do, in a perfect world, like you're in a vacuum and it's just you, in that perfect world, what do you want? What would make you happy? If you could have anything, do anything, be anywhere, and I don't care about the limitations, I would like you to make a list of all those things that are yours in a perfect world. Okay? Can you do that? Yes. Okay? Because guess
Mhm.
what? We all create our worlds according to our thoughts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And
I'm
if
aware of that.
you're busy trying to live the life somebody else has planned for you, it's their life, it's not yours. You're not going to get what you want. Okay?
Mhm.
If you're
Mhm.
not in touch with what you want in your perfect world, it's not ever going to be attainable. Okay? So
Mhm.
get it out there, write it down, put it on a piece of paper. Okay? I also
Okay.
see this Nine of Swords, which tells me that you've recently had some heavy losses in your life too.
Yeah, my mom just passed.
And
But I know she sends me signs all the time. I just sent you an email
yeah.
um, of the sign that I had seen while I was walking on our road, and it was just gorgeous.
What sign? Can you share with us?
I just emailed you. It's under Hope.
Okay.
It was a rainbow, like a rainbow in the sky with an angel next to it.
Oh, how beautiful is that?
It
Yeah.
was gorgeous. And I know it was for my mom. And I knew as a child that my gifts would come in a lot stronger and she would help me. We have a very big mission here together.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful. Yes, I miss her, but I also knew that my guides told me that when I was younger that this would happen. So it's really beautiful and I'm very excited for the ride.
Well, thank you for sharing that, because my guides say that your connection to her with her on the other side is actually going to be stronger in many ways. I think she's going to be one of your guides, and I think that connection
Yes.
so much stronger than when she was here.
Yes,
I also
I
want
feel that as well.
my guides are telling me, and I don't know whether this was physical or emotional, but for a very long time, your mom had issues with her heart, whether that was physical or emotional or both, I don't know. And I think that she was hiding her hurts for a very long time because she didn't want to cause harm to anybody else. She's released on the other side. She is really so
Yeah,
much happier and whole over there. Um,
I know that.
the one who's going to be, I'm assuming your dad is still alive because it looks here that he's alive. And,
Yes.
you know, the decisions and choices for you, and please, I hope he's not listening. Don't play this for him. You know, the hardship is that one of the biggest problems in your mom's life is that she desperately loved this guy who controlled her to the point where she couldn't be who she was. Okay?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
one of the reasons she's already finding joy on the other side is that she's free. And
Yes,
she loves your dad desperately, but
I know she does.
she also desperately needed to be free. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I know you get both sides of that. Your dad is your dad is a controller, okay?
Mhm.
Simply who he is. He's not a bad person. It's just that his way of expressing love is to own and control. The more he cares
Right.
for you, the more he wants you under his thumb because then you
And
can
that's just what he learned from his parents.
exactly. You can't change.
Yeah.
The problem
Right.
that you're going to deal with right now is that, and this is in you, and your mom can't help you with this because she doesn't want you to fall into her situation where you're now losing your freedom, but she also wants to see him taken care of. So she can't give
Right.
help and advice. But she says it's going to be a rough time for you. It's going to be a very fine line to walk as you establish a relationship with your father where you can be here for this man who silently demands, doesn't ask, but gets mad if you don't survive and do what he wants you to do.
Mhm. Mhm. What's funny because the first dream, about a month after she passed, the first time she came to me in my dream was, "Oh my God, Karen, I'm so sorry I haven't come to talk to you. I've been so busy working on your father."
Yes. And
It was.
she can work on your dad until kingdom come. He is not going to
Mhm.
touch that man. And one of the things maybe that she needs to learn, and probably you do too, because you were born to him, is that maybe he's happy being the way he is. And what's wrong?
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
is
Mhm.
that you're going to need to find, water finds its own level. You're going to need to find how much you can be there for him, this demanding person who won't ask but expects, okay? How much
Mhm.
how much can you give of yourself to him? Because if you don't set boundaries, he will take it all. There will be nothing left for you or your family. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
Do it because out of malice, he'll do it because that's just who he is. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
And he isn't going to give back to you either because he doesn't express. He's just going to take. Okay? That doesn't
Huh.
make him bad. I want you to know that.
Uh-huh.
Bad.
Right. That's just what he was taught.
Okay? So you, from the situation you're in, you're needing to find out how you can be there for him because you love this guy and you don't want to
Mhm.
go to pieces. You want to see him survive and be healthy and lead a healthy.
Yeah.
And so you're
Right.
going to learn how to be there without losing yourself, without giving in to his emotional control, because you can feel his emotions even now. You don't have to be in the same house with him. You can be 1,500 miles away, and when he wants you to call him, he's hitting you with a psychic mallet. Okay? So you're going to have to get good at recognizing that, okay, Dad, I know you want me to call you, and I can do that next week. This isn't our day for the call yet. Honest, you're going to have to do that, okay?
Yeah,
So
and he's in Florida and I'm in PA, so it's
that's 15.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
So the thing is, you will know everything about this guy because as soon as he realizes the one he can create the psychic connection to, he's very psychic, is you.
Oh,
He's going to put you
yes.
in that string and reel you in, okay? And you
Mhm. Mhm.
want to be there for him, and it's going to be a very interesting experience for you, a Libra, to learn how to set boundaries in a relationship that are healthy for you and him. And by doing it, you're going to create a really good relationship, and you're going to help your family, your own immediate family, to learn how to have healthy relationships. What a wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is big.
Absolutely. What a lesson. Wow, that's awesome.
It's a real life lesson, and you're getting not only do it, but to share it with your mother, to teach her while she's on the other side. You're going to get to teach her too. It's a learning experience.
Yeah. So is that my mission here, to help others with that as well?
Absolutely. And to teach it. Are you a teacher? You should be.
I feel like my guides came to me when I was 4, and they told me I came here to teach my parents about money.
Yeah.
And when I was 30, the download came in again. They visited me again very strongly. The download came in. It was very, very heavy, and I did not listen. And because I knew that they would not listen to me, being my dad the way he was. And they what my guides told me, yeah, they lost everything.
Yeah.
It was rough, but my dad's attorney owns everything.
Right.
And I feel like he's getting older now, and karma's coming, and I feel like he's going to be calling us, or something's going to happen that he fesses up. And he's an attorney and very, very up in the law.
Yeah.
And he stole millions from my father.
But see, this isn't your lesson. This is
correct
your lesson. And that's right. Things that, remember what I said to our last caller?
Yes.
Your learning is, and you earlier in this, you're learning to stand back and see the whole situation, and set the boundaries on how you choose to involve you and your family, and how you don't. It's not
absolutely
life lesson. This is his life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And sometimes, folks, sometimes that's very important for us to understand. I was talking to a close friend of mine. I want to share this, folks, because this is so important. I was talking to this gal just the other day at lunchtime, and I said, sometimes the experience we're having isn't ours, it's the other person's. Even though we're close to them, we might be married to them, or their daughter, or their best friend, or their sister, and we really want to take on that person's karma. We want it to be ours so we can fight as a team. And, sometimes what they're going through has nothing to do with us. And perhaps before life even started, we made an agreement with them that we would be there just to hold their hand, just to give them an I love you. Not to interfere with their life journey or life lesson, but to witness it, to be there in that space, and to give our love to them. And in that moment, when I was sharing that with a friend, I want to tell you folks, I hope you can feel it. I just felt so much love burst from my own heart. It just filled the whole room, okay? So many times we're here to witness what the people we love go through, and to give them support and to share our love, but we shouldn't be interfering with their journey, because if we do, we're taking something from them. We're not honoring their journey. Okay?
Exactly.
That's a really evolved insight to have. And it's, as humans, it's so hard because we want to jump in and fix it for everybody. But sometimes we're not supposed to. Okay? One thing's very clear about your dad. Your dad is the person who only learns from direct experience with school hard knocks, period. And he doesn't share his lessons either. You'll never know if he got it or not. Okay? So,
because he's not very open. He just keeps everything to himself.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
You have a whole lot of accepting that you have to learn to do. He's different than you are. And you have to let him be different. And you are really going to know his journey, because it's not yours. You're there because you love him. You've loved him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you're his handhold. But you're not the fix-it person.
Nope.
Good luck, happy holidays, and a happy New Year to you, whole family.
To you as well. Thank you very much, Sandy.
Okay, folks, I think that's about it for our psychic hour this evening. If I didn't get to your question, remember, if you're on this call until the end, go ahead and send me your single simple question. If it reaches me before 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow evening, I will answer it. Don't forget to include your name, what you're most grateful for, a place you've been able to share your light, okay, or feel that light, and also your simple question, okay? And your birthday. Don't forget your birthday. I need to know your sun sign to get the best information to you. Now, if you're listening to this on the replay, don't send your question. You've got to be here physically to get that question answered. And also, please be patient. It's the end of it's the Christmas season. It may take me a little bit longer to get to your questions than usual, but I promise you I will answer them. Good night, everyone. And I'll see you next year on January 30th. Almost a little over a month from now is almost. See you then. Good night, everyone.